Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, I'm Diana Kanecki. I'd like to make a comment on two videos on TEDx that I watched today. One was entitled I Am Not a Mono, and another one was Social Media and Identity by Gina O'Sheryl. In both videos, they discuss the aspect of social media. Part of social media is different depending upon which age group you belong to. I first became part of the internet in 1982 and actually became part of the network world as early as 1969 when I was 7 years old. Prior to the late 90s, on the internet, as it existed from 1982 to about 1997, there was a code of conduct in regard to flaming, which is sending excessive emails so that someone's account either shuts down or the computer crashes. Nowadays it's called denial of service, or even just publicly being nasty and responding to someone's post. It's one thing to disagree, but it's another thing to be nasty and be hurtful. And prior to 96, the policy was if someone was that, the system administrator would remove their account from the internet. With the rise of social media, some of the old internet rules have not been followed, and I think they should. In social identity, it's very common for many people who are on the internet who may seem different than the natural population, LGBT, to be easily picked on because they're on social media, because they added a friend who's a friend of a friend. Although the person who may be a friend of a friend could actually be someone who's hostile and violates privacy or does cyberbullying. And regarding to this can cause a big social issue. For myself, due to the current usage of social media and some of the aggressive tendencies, on Facebook I will like something, but I will rarely comment as much as I did in the past. Or if I do comment, I'll only comment in selected news groups where it is high academic standards. As far as chatting, I do far less chatting than I did prior to 2000. In 2000, it's very easy to chat worldwide with different colleagues, different people, and have a nice friendly conversation. But the thing is, nowadays, when someone's chatting, they don't know if that chat log is going to be recorded. Is it going to be passed around? Prior to 2000, most chat logs weren't recorded, and even if they were, they weren't passed around because basically it's just used for the system administrator in case there was an issue about violating the old internet rules. Although Web 2.0 is supposed to have new rules, which is supposed to eliminate some of the Wild West in the old boys club, as well as the boys club that did exist in the internet and still exists in IT, it still goes on with cyberbullying and other aspects. And that's why many professionals actually don't work in the Valley, actually work in the Midwest, New York, Austin, because of that. And another TED video mentioned by Monica Lewinsky about social shaming. To someone in the early 20s facing cyberbullying today, I hate to imagine what they must be going through, because when I was in my 20s, that was the early 80s, and the worst thing that could happen on the internet was that someone could send you a mean remark or try to do imposter games or and that. But nowadays, with social bullying, I can see the reason why for some groups wanting to have two different types of internet, a professional internet and a public internet again, because the joining of the two internets is not working. And back again, this would go back to prior to 96, where the public internet with services like AOL, Time Warner, something else, and the professional internet, which I was on since '82, were mostly researchers, students who were serious about studying, also with casual chatting, realizing that there are some limits and boundaries as to people. And also realizing that the world is made up of different people. There are people who are male and female. Some are transgendered, some are not. Um, However, that because someone's transgendered, that doesn't make them an object of bullying or an object of ridicule or making comments when they walk down the hallway as dribbling, misgendering, so that they can be heard a long distance. It's one thing when two people speak, there's a certain tone of voice and the voice carries between the two persons, but when it carries onward and there's deliberate misgendering or even attack of someone's LGBTQ, someone who's a geek who wears glasses, someone who's techie who carries a computer, all these many of us who are older went through years ago. It's time to end this. And even myself, many people have known me before I transitioned and after I transitioned. And a common question some haters will ask, they say, well, why don't you go back to being a man or working as a man? A big reason, because I was transgender hiding back then, and I was bullied. I was abused in ways that many women were abused back then, which I won't describe in detail. But also, I was paid at 1/3 the salary, and it wasn't until Desert Storm, Desert Shield that I was paid at 1/2, which is part of the reason why I won't work in hiding again. Neither should anyone else. Everyone deserves a full salary, as well as full dignity and respect in a safe workplace. So if you do get a chance, I would recommend you watching Gina O'Shear's TED videos as to why it came out in media and social identity, as well as gender proud, as well as Cameron, why I am not a model, because I modeled for Fashion Bug and it's a joyful experience, but my modeling career was a lot different than what a lot of other models have experienced. I experienced the positive ends of it and used it to move my career upward, to understand retailing, marketing, advertising, and that's what Cameron mentions in her talk about that. Not just, but in the fourth talk is Monica Lewinsky's talk about the aspect of shaming. Part of what happened during that time in 1998 is one reason why I can't fully support one political party, because in 1999 I was thrown under the bus by the same political party administration when I worked in emergency management. Not because of a bad job, but because they want someone who is closer politically and knee-jerk politically to their organization. Which in emergency management, I don't believe that should ever be a political thing. You don't ask people their religion, their race, their gender, what party they belong to if someone suffered an emergency or someone's going through a natural disaster or hardship. Well, let me know what you think. I'm on Twitter at Diana1A. Also, I'm on Facebook at Diana, Diana dot Kanecki, Kanecki. I'd be happy to hear your comments. And also, I'd like to ask for your support to end cyberbullying on the internet of all kinds, and also to end bullying due to a person's image, shape, or gender identity, as well as being LGBTQ. It's not fair for someone to say, well, I support gay and lesbian people, but I don't support bi and transgender. No, that's a divide and conquer technique. Everyone has a right to live in a world. Everyone has their constitutional rights, human rights, and civil rights. And LGBT, and especially transgender, are the new civil rights, just like it was with the Voting Act of 1965, and other acts that followed. Um, some people, um, some people might say, well, if you don't support one party, why, what party do you support? Well, I'm more of a centrist and a moderate, but I'm open to all ideas because part of the reason is when my dad was younger, he had polio, and thanks to the socialist mayor that was in Milwaukee under the Hone administration, my dad was able to get an operation so that he could walk. He couldn't walk as well as other people. At least he didn't have to spend a life of being completely disabled. But that's where I'm open to different ideas. But as long as everyone's constitutional human rights and civil rights are respected. Thank you. Let me know what you think.